Hill, high in Morocco's Atlas Mountains, was a sanctuary for trekkers and climbers, known for its peace and hospitality. For years, visitors came seeking adventure on Mount Toubkal, welcomed by the Amazigh people and the village's open, trusting spirit. The local economy thrived on tourism, with guest houses and guides depending on the steady flow of hikers. Safety was a point of pride. Travelers camped freely, confident in the village's reputation as a haven untouched by violence. The idea of danger here seemed unthinkable. In December 2018, two young women arrived, blending into the familiar rhythm of Imlil, eager to begin their trek. They saw only a peaceful village and a mountain waiting to be explored. They had no reason to suspect that their adventure would become a tragedy that would shake the entire region. Louisa Jespersen from Denmark and Maren Ulen from Norway were more than friends. They were passionate explorers, training to become outdoor guides. Their lives revolved around adventure, and their trip to Morocco was a carefully planned journey to cap off their studies. Drawn by the allure of the high Atlas, they prepared meticulously for the climb, eager to test themselves on Mount Toubkal. Both were experienced, respectful travelers, seeking connection and challenge, not danger. They spent a week in Marrakech before heading to Imlil, excited for the solitude and beauty of the mountains. Their plan was simple: acclimatize, then summit Toubkal over 2 days. Filled with hope, they set out, unaware that darkness was about to cross their path. Their dream adventure was about to become a nightmare. Louisa and Maren arrived in Imlil, joining the bustle of trekkers preparing for the climb. Confident, they chose to hike without a guide, a common choice then. On December 16th, they set out, camping at a familiar spot off the main trail. As night fell, they settled into their tent, unaware they were being watched. 4 men, strangers to the mountain, had targeted them, waiting for darkness. Around midnight, 3 approached the tent, shattering the peace with an act of unimaginable violence. The women's campsite, chosen for its solitude, became the scene of horror. Their journey ended in brutality, their dream forever lost to the night. At dawn, 2 French hikers stumbled upon the women's tent, sensing something terribly wrong. Inside and just outside, they found the bodies, evidence of shocking violence. Horrified, they raced back to Imlil, alerting authorities and shattering the village's calm. News spread instantly, plunging the community into grief and disbelief. The crime was a violation of everything Imlil stood for: hospitality, safety, trust. Moroccan authorities responded swiftly, sealing off the area and launching a major investigation. Forensic teams confirmed this was no ordinary crime. Terrorism was immediately suspected. The nation braced for answers as one of its darkest manhunts began. The mountains, once a symbol of peace, were now marked by tragedy. The murders became Morocco's top priority, with elite investigators mobilized. A local guide's tip about suspicious men near the tent led to the first arrest in Marrakech. The suspect confessed, naming his accomplices, and a nationwide manhunt began. The fugitives tried to escape by bus, but a vigilant ticket vendor alerted police. All 3 were arrested within days, still carrying the weapons used in the attack. Relief swept the country, but the investigation widened. Dozens more were detained for suspected ties to the killers. Authorities dismantled the extremist cell behind the attack, earning praise for their swift action. The arrests brought some closure, but the shock lingered. Morocco's image as a safe haven was forever changed. The attackers were not foreign militants, but local men from the margins of Marrakech, poor, disaffected, and vulnerable to radicalization. Led by Abdesamad Ajoud, a former street preacher hardened by prison, they formed a small cell inspired by ISIS. Days before the murders, they pledged allegiance to ISIS on video, seeking purpose through violence. Their plan was to strike a blow against the West and Morocco's liberal values. Lacking resources for a larger attack, they targeted Louisa and Maren as soft targets. The crime was calculated terror, designed for maximum fear and attention. Their brutality was not random, but a deliberate act of extremist ideology. The tragedy exposed the threat of homegrown radicalization in Morocco. The trial of the 24 accused gripped Morocco, with the main killers confessing in chilling detail. The courtroom was filled with grief and anger, as families demanded the harshest punishment. On July 18, 2019, the three main perpetrators were sentenced to death, despite Morocco's moratorium on executions. The fourth, who withdrew before the murders, received life in prison. Others got lengthy sentences. The court ordered compensation for the victims' families, acknowledging their immeasurable loss. The verdicts brought a measure of closure and a strong message: terrorism would not be tolerated. For the families, justice was served, though their pain could never be erased. The nation stood united in its resolve against extremism. The Imlil murders forced sweeping changes in mountain security. Independent trekking was replaced by mandatory local guides, both for safety and to support the community. Wild camping was banned. Hikers now stay only in official refuges or guest houses. Police checkpoints monitor every group, checking passports and guide credentials. The once open trails are now under constant surveillance, a necessary trade-off for safety. While some mourn the loss of freedom, most welcome the new measures. Tourism slowly rebounded as confidence in security returned. The mountain remains a place of adventure, but now under vigilant protection. The tragedy left deep scars on Morocco and the families of Louisa and Marin. Vigils and public outcry united the nation in grief and condemnation of extremism. The attack was a wake-up call to the dangers of homegrown radicalization. Authorities intensified efforts to counter extremism, addressing both security and social roots. Imlil's community showed resilience, slowly rebuilding and reclaiming its reputation. Local guides became guardians of the mountain, ensuring safety for all. The tragedy is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the need for vigilance. Yet, it also revealed the strength of community and the enduring spirit of adventure. The shadow of that night lingers, but the light of hospitality and hope endures.